We are Si and Sophie. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast, your weekly episode companion podcast for your favourite Aussie soap.
I can't tell you how much our friendship means to me and how hard it is for me to say goodbye. But I'm going, so you'll remember me as I am now, still full of life and love and hope.
I'll be somewhere out there over the horizon.
I want you to remember that life moves so quickly. So make every moment count. Every single moment. Don't waste a minute. Be brave, take risks, love hard and laugh loud. It's good for the soul. Don't be scared of change. You never know what's around the next corner. Make sure you live your biggest life. Don't let anyone tell you you're not worthy of that. And most importantly, take care of each other. At the end of the day, that's what matters. Friends and family.
No regrets?
None, love. Life's too short.
Well, welcome to Pop Goes the Tam Tam. This is a podcast where we talk about random things in pop culture that I have interest in. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Home and Away, but more specifically, the leaving of Irene Roberts after being on the show for 33 years. Lynn has gone. She is no more. And to discuss this sad departure, I am joined by two very special guests. You just heard one guest. Announce yourself. You heard the other now. Announce yourself, special guest.
It's Si and Sophie from Coastal News, a home and away podcast for your favourite Aussie soap.
Hello.
What a shock.
How are you? This is excited, Tamsin. Thanks for having us along. A crossover event that we've been teasing all our listeners with.
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoys it. It's a monumentous juncture in the show that is Home and Away. I think you'd all agree. And it feels like it needs a bit of gravitas from us podcasters, don't you think?
Yeah, it's very serious. We're all dressed in ties and shirts and sad hats as we bid Irene farewell.
I've got the black veil.
But you're right. I mean, this is momentous. I think when I watched her acceptance speech at the Logies, she made it clear that she was probably one of the longest running actresses on Australian TV.
Yeah.
So this is huge.
She's record breaker, isn't she, for that? She's got the record for the longest soap actress, hasn't she?
I think so, yeah. Longest. She's in the Guinness for it, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. And we were talking a bit before, we were talking about after the episodes after she'd left, and we all found it quite boring.
No, hang on a minute. Hang on. No, I think you're always going to have a come down from that, I think, when you get back to the other stories. And some of those we've been a bit critical about, all of us, during our conversations between each other, haven't we? Yeah. You always get the come down on any soap after some big, huge event. But I think there's a lot of things set up for the future here. There's a lot of things lining up for a good next few months, I reckon.
Yeah, yeah. Because you guys made a really interesting point, which was for the last couple of, I'd say, a month, it has felt like the wheels have been spinning because we've been waiting for the Irene to leave, Irene to leave, and now we're getting more, maybe as you said, more stories coming through.
Yeah, I think it's been bottlenecked by that story because I think, I mean, it showed on screen, I think anyway, that a lot of effort went into it. Those couple of eps. What did you think, guys?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's been gearing up to her leaving, and everything's been kind of pointed towards that, and we've all been kind of prepped for it, haven't we? I guess emotionally and everything else. And there wasn't really much time to squeeze in very much else, like in terms of drama. I think there's been a lot of stuff going on, a lot of little things going on, but nothing huge alongside that because that's had to take the focus. But I think now that we've had conversations this week about the wedding and that's been booked and everything, I think we're moving on now.
Yeah.
There's other things on the way looming, and Aussie, Aussie soap wedding's always going to bring drama, so I'm excited about that. So
Yeah.
I think it's gonna. I think we needed a little bit of a lull. It's almost like we're all in grief still of Irene leaving, and we've got a little bit of a lull. But I think it will start to pick up again, probably from next week or so.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Well, I think so. Throughout the whole thing, I don't want to speak for you both, but John's been the absolute crux of my grief throughout a lot of it, and I think that is far from over.
Yes, we're going to have to see him coping without her and doing everything he normally does without her, aren't we? As are we, So,
Yeah, it's going to be really sad. But I guess we're going to lose him for a little bit when he goes off to be with her in Paris.
Yes. Yeah. I wonder whether we are going to hear about that. That did sort of pique my interest when they mentioned that. It's in 6 weeks. So we've been given a timeline of when to expect him to be gone. So are we going to hear about it? Are we going to see anything? Is anyone going to mention it on screen? Oh, I heard from JP today and he's having a great time under the Eiffel Tower. I don't know. Like, I want to know. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think we're going to hear about that or?
I hope so. I hope it's. I mean, look, I have made no secret of my Irene John second fantasy, so I hope they lean right into them because Sophie, you won't have to see them kiss. It'll be
Thank
all
God.
on screen, so you won't get it.
Doesn't mean I can't see it in my head. Keeps me up at night, that.
It would be very home and away for John to come back from Paris with a long distance girlfriend who's dying. But yeah.
Oh God, it won't. It's very John. I just love it. I love that. But like you say, their relationship and his reaction to losing her has been so emotional.
Yeah.
And he's also asked a lot of the questions that us, the audience, wanted someone to ask.
Exactly.
He's been the voice of reason actually throughout what has been pretty balmy exit. You're right.
Can I ask you guys, just to do things a bit back to front, because we started by talking about the leave-in storyline. So what I want to ask you guys is, what did you think of this final episode?
Go on, Soph.
I think it was great. I think it was very, very Irene, and also a little bit Lynn as well, in terms of like how it was kind of shot and how it sort of played out, because it was very, for an exit, it was actually very uplifting, wasn't it? It was sad for us because obviously we had to listen to all the letters and everything being read out, but I actually think it wasn't a sad, tragic storyline ending. It was something hopeful. It was something, I don't know, I guess like a bittersweet ending, but kind of empowering, because I've actually found this journey quite difficult watching this play out, because obviously she's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and we've seen the effects of that. and we've seen the hospital appointments, and we've seen her, you know, forgetting huge things. And I've been saying on our podcast for a couple of weeks now, or a few weeks now, to Simon, like, I don't know how this woman can go across the world on her own. I don't feel like it's plausible. I feel like it's emotionally jarring. I feel like it's taking me out of the storyline because I'm too worried about her being in an airport on her own and not knowing where she is and all that sort of stuff. But actually, the last episode, I kind of forgot all of that. And I was like choosing to think, okay, this is a woman that wants to live fully before her illness sort of takes hold. And it's kind of like her final act of agency. And I kind of tried to see it as more of a bittersweet ending and try and not be so sort of frustrated with it by being, you know, trying to pick apart and trying to go, well, what about this and what about that? So try to enjoy the episode as a standalone, really, and forget everything that had been going on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
make sense.
I agree. I would second that. I thought it was a beautiful, warm, uplifting's the right word that you used. I think it was a great end to. We were very concerned about this end to the character that we've grown to love over the years. She was on This Morning this week. I don't know if any of you caught it, and they called her the lovable battle axe, which I thought was a really interesting way, because I thought, well,
yeah,
maybe one time, but not necessarily these days. But
no,
she's a woman who stands her ground, knows herself, knows what she wants out of life, and she's always spoken her mind. And I think we were a bit concerned about the ending being her losing that part of her personality.
yeah,
But and doing silly things, and it was a bit like, oh. But I think the last ep, the actual leaving ep, I thought it just stood alone as a real beautiful homage to
yeah,
this great life, really. And I felt the community was all together. We don't get much of that on Home and Away. You know, it doesn't often happen. They're all in their own groups, off in their own stories, aren't they, normally? I mean, there was more chairs than people, I will say, but let's not get into that debate. You know, there was music, there was sunshine, there was dancing. It wasn't everyone wailing and flailing on the floor about it. Now, look, I was looking at it thinking we didn't even need her to be ill. That episode could have stayed as it was. There could have been no illness. She could have just gone, do you know what? I'm retiring and I'm going to go and travel. I've reached an age, I just want to retire and I'm going to see the world while I can. That could have been it. And that episode would have made perfect sense, and it would have been just as beautiful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
No,
you,
'cause
Tamsin?
I had a similar thought to you, actually, in regards to Irene could have had a health scare, and then that could have put things into perspective for her. And she essentially says, you know, maybe there is something more for me. I'm 70 plus years old. I need to go and find it. And then maybe she creates the map. We find her creating the map. And the first person she contacts is VJ. And she's like, this is how Leah finds out that Irene is leaving, because VJ messages her and it's like, oh, Irene's coming to visit. Are you coming with her? And Leah's kind of asked Irene about like what's going on, and then it kind of comes out. And also she could have sold the diner because she's retiring, so that would make sense. But then I don't think she should have sold the house. I think she should have rented it out and maybe asked Harper and Dana for, you know, maybe we find out that they're paying a peppercorn rent and she asked if they can pay a full rent and they can't. So that's when you've got David and Jolene, who then become the new tenants, essentially. So, yeah.
I think, there's definitely different ways. We could analyse this till we're blue in the face, couldn't we? And think of all different ways. That's the point of a soap, and us what soap fans, that's what we do, right? We pick it apart and go, I would have done this. I like those ideas. I agree. The house feels weird. The diner less so, which is strange, actually, considering she's so synonymous with the diner. I guess they wanted to make it final, and maybe there's a little bit of denial peppered into our responses here, because she's not coming back. Like, and this is a death in all but name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're never going to see her again. So why why would she keep the house? Why would she keep the diner? Like, if she died, that
true.
stuff would have to be sorted. And
Mm.
those thoughts are hard for me to swallow at the moment, I think.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Mm.
and I guess a lot of people have living wills now, don't they?
Yeah.
Where
Mm.
they sort of enact these changes while they're still alive. And I mean, it's less for us as an audience to always think, oh, well, Irene will come back, if there's
Mm.
nothing really for her to come back to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So that everything has to be severed to tell us this is it, guys. Like,
yeah,
this is it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
there's no. If she kept the house on, we'd always be saying, "When she'll be back. She'll be
yeah,
back."
I mean,
yeah,
the
and
fans do it already at the moment, don't they? Because we know the Estonies still own the farmhouse that Mac and
yeah,
Levi currently
Mm.
live in, and the amount of
Mm.
people that bring that up, week in, week out on social media and say, "We know they still own the farmhouse. Do you think the Estonies would ever come back?" And it's been years since they've been on the screen, and they're not as iconic as Irene, and people are still saying, "Are they going to come back? Will they come back for the house?" And trying to rewrite history there. So you're right, it would happen. We'd all be sitting there going, "Well, her house is still here, and this is still there, and this is more final. This is, like you say, it's telling us this is it, guys. She's gone." So
Yeah. Short of us killing her on screen, like,
yeah,
oh,
which might have. I don't know what you guys think. Might that have been easier?
oh God, not for me. But
no, no, I don't think so. I think that's too much. That's one step beyond.
yeah,
She will join the eternal living characters like Morag and
yes,
Colleen off screen,
yes,
never to be heard. Mm. I do like the thought of this sort of retirement home somewhere with these characters not aging.
Yeah. No, it's really fun. And it's like,
Mm.
why break that bubble? Why spoil
mm,
it?
Mm.
mm,
Mm.
I mean, it's like recently, going over to the other soap, Neighbours, we had an iconic character that's got Huntington's, and we recently found out that their symptoms have worsened. They're
oh,
off screen. We don't need to know that.
oh,
Mm.
that's a choice, isn't it? That's
That
interesting.
is the choice. Yeah.
Mm.
And is it
No.
irrelevant to the current plot?
No, not at all, really. No, I don't think so. So
Oh,
it just felt like we don't need to know this. Let us live in denial that she's back.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
just like,
that's it.
here you go, be
Yeah.
sad. Feel sad for no reason. That's harsh. That's really harsh. Oh dear. They really are trying to pull as many heartstrings as possible then, I guess, if they're
Yeah,
doing things
yeah.
like that. Yeah. Gosh.
So, okay, I'm gonna ask you guys, what does the character of Irene mean to you? Because for me, she's kind of an icon. When I think of Australian women of a certain age,
Mm.
she's like iconic totem
Yeah,
of that sort of Australiana.
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. What about you, Si? You go, and I went first last time, so let you speak.
um, I agree. I think she epitomizes a certain generation. Aussie generation, definitely. I think she's hilarious. I
Mm.
think she's warm. I feel like she was part of my guardianship, but being brought up on the show. And she's synonymous with Home and Away, right? How many times do you mention to someone you're watching Home and Away and they go, "Is Al still in it? Is Irene still in it?"
Yeah,
They're the sort of names that come up
Mm.
when you talk to people about the show.
Yeah.
yeah,
She made a boy, did she make a mark on the show,
Mm.
right from the day dot. So I think she is incredibly iconic when it comes to this show and Australian TV in general.
Mm.
There's a reason she's gold Logie winner.
Mm.
Will she get a bogey though, eh? But yeah, I think she's amazing, and this is why this exit feels like a sea change.
Mm.
It
mm,
feels like the tide has changed direction a bit, and I am moving forward with the show now in trepidation because it's just a big chunk off what was Home and Away of old.
Mm.
yeah,
We're getting
yeah.
further away and further away from it.
Mm. Yeah.
No, and it's interesting that you raised the spectre of Alf, because in many ways Irene was the female Alf. You know, she could give as good as she got. She had so many Ireneisms. Like Alf has got all of his sayings,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
similar.
yeah. And they creep them sayings creep their way into,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of the promo and a lot of the social media around her exit from all the Australian was all like flipping. They were all the press was quoting them all.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Mm.
was. Yeah, and
So
we do it, don't we? I mean, you
oh
and
god.
we're texting each other, and I go, well, hang on a minute, doll. I'll be 5 minutes, and you're right, all right, girly. You know, like these little things just creep in, and
Mm.
it's mad how much like something like a character on the TV actually does sort of infiltrate into your everyday slang, and you know what I mean. It's your vernacular changes when you watch sort of a
Yeah.
different sort of show with different languages and that kind of thing. I think for me, I think the same as Si, because I've been brought up with Irene in my life. I do feel like I'm missing some part of my family now that she's gone, which I know sounds really, really sad.
I know.
But it's true. Because, you know, I kind of got into Home and Away because my mum watched it when I was growing up. My mum was a big Aussie. She used to watch Neighbours and Home and Away. And she was a massive fan of Irene. So I've always sort of grown up with Irene on my TV, and she's always been like mad Auntie Reenie that's friends with my mum on the telly. You know, it's a bit like that. So it feels like losing that kind of that family member that you're just used to. My mum doesn't watch the show anymore, but she'll say to me, "Oh, is Irene still on it?" And you know, she was sad when she found out she was leaving, even though she doesn't watch the show anymore. So I think that just shows everyone that's sort of a lapsed viewer kind of goes, "Oh, Irene's leaving," and they're really sad about that, even though they don't watch the show anymore. And it's like it's not affecting them, but they feel sad that she's gone because it's like part of your kind of childhood, or your growing up is kind of going. It's really weird. But I think the reason why she's so important for me is because she's so relatable. Like she's not polished, she's flawed, she's messy,
Mm, mm,
she's full of heart, you know, heart of gold. She's funny as hell. She's got these phrases that just make you laugh. And you know, she's bad at romance. She's family tragedies here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
She's the classic soap matriarch, and she is that generational anchor for people. She is that older lady on the show that feels like your auntie or your mum or your nan. And I think those characters, when you're growing up, are really important for some reason. You know, they just are.
yeah.
And she's
Soap
just
don't make characters like that anymore, do
they
they?
don't, and it's that strong female, you know. And she wasn't always that way, you know. She came into the show as the kind of troubled alcoholic, lost custody of her children. She wasn't the moral compass that we know her now, you know. Back then she wasn't like that. She's had to go through the redemption arc and come out the other side, but that makes her even more relatable because it's like she's earned her stripes, you know. She's come from nothing, and she's this unapologetically Aussie Sheila Farrell woman that's turned glam, you know. She's almost glamorous by the end of the show. When you look at her, when you compare how she sort of looks and how she acts, you know, from when she first joined to when she left, you can tell the difference. You know, it's like night and day. So, and you've grown up watching all of those eras of her, and I think that's why you feel so attached to her, don't you, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And like you say, she's gone on such an emotional journey as a character.
Yeah.
And even last year, when we saw her battling with her alcoholism, there has never been a point where it has been easy. There's always been some struggle.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, she's always been quite tragic, but then she's also she's funny and she's optimistic, and she's,
Yeah.
you know, she bounces back easily, and I think that's something that everybody kind of loves about her as well. Is it? Yes, she gets knocked on her ass, but she always comes back,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's
She's such a
relatable.
fighter.
Yeah,
Such
she
a
is.
fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So now I need to ask you guys, what is your favorite era slash moment slash hair color of Irene?
There's been a few.
There has been a few.
I think for me, it's the and whether this is because this period of the show is my sort of heyday, but it's the sort of early mid noughties, you know, Red Bob,
Yeah.
Fringe, and she's got a house full of your Haleys and your Wills.
Mm.
Um, you know, and Natasha's a bit later on and things, you know, and she had a house full. She dated that was it Barry?
Oh, Barry Hyde.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah.
Big bad Barry Hyde, the
Bazar.
murderer.
Mhm. You know, she thought she could be a singer, you know, and think, you know, just that like prime of her life, her 50s, you know, when she was like, she got, you know, she'd lived enough to sort of not put up with any crap. She knew herself at that point. She was in control, and she was morphing into this really sort of giving person.
Yes.
And she had a lot of time for everybody. I liked Irene then. I will caveat that the younger Irene of the early 90s, pissed, you know, really bad mother, is a little guilty pleasure of mine. But, you know, I have to
Yes.
pick a favourite.
Exactly. I think we've all got a soft spot for chain smoking, alcoholic,
Yeah.
you know, blonde pixie cuts, you know, baggy shirts, that kind of
It's all the
Irene.
grief she'd give everyone. She's like, "You're gonna wish you were never born." Like, he's a 15-year-old child. What are you talking to him like that for?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the
Mm.
big frizzy sort of pixie cut sort of era was, yeah, I do have a soft spot for that. But I think, like you, when I think of Irene, if someone said like describe Irene, I would be thinking of her with the you know, the dark red curly bob, that kind of earthy glam look that she has going on as she's leaving as well. Like like I say earlier, it was like earlier in the days, it was like that feral chic kind of chain smoking, thin, looking a bit ill, and then she sort of transformed into this like earthy glam, you know, chic lady. So you know, that's the Irene that I'll remember. Although I will think about the you know the chain smoking Irene occasionally because it's kind of funny to remember. But I remember her as she is when she
Oh,
left.
and that's
I think.
so poignant, Sophie, because in her letters goodbye to everybody, she says, "I'm going now, so you'll remember me like this."
Exactly, and I will. Yes, exactly. Just as she wanted.
There we go. Mission complete. What about you, Tamsin? What's your favourite?
Well, I think I'm kind of similar to both of you. So I think my favourite era again was when I actually joined the show, which was when she was living with Hayley and Will and
Mm,
Nick were her
mm,
stepchildren.
Yeah.
Because I missed when she was married to their father. I missed all that.
Oh,
mm.
that was good actually. When she, because do you remember that? Sarge, remember his ex-wife, and she escaped from the psychiatric ward, and
Yeah, she was nuts, and she came after her.
she did. She tried to come and kill Irene and poison her, and I think
Yeah.
Irene had to fight her off with a baseball bat.
Yeah, she tried to thwart her wedding to him, didn't she? She
Oh
was,
yes,
yeah.
that was it. It was
Yeah.
good. That was a good era.
We'll rewatch at some point.
The Ken
I
era was
will.
a good era.
Oh,
Before we got flattened by a car, you know,
Yeah.
that was a bit sad. But yeah.
Oh yeah, that was like a Theo sitch, wasn't it?
Yeah, he actually
Car crushed.
But it was an accident, wasn't it? He was a mechanic, and he was working on the car, and the car flattened him.
Yeah.
And he died.
Yeah.
So you need to
diddles.
revisit that, Tamsin, and go back because that was a good era, the Ken era.
I will. I will. Yeah, R.I.P. Ken. I didn't know you. But yeah, that's kind of my era for her. In
Yeah.
terms of hairstyles, I like her most recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Definitely.
glam. Like
Very
we
glam.
said, she
Yeah.
has completely had a style overhaul. I love what she was wearing in her last episode.
Me too.
Same.
Yes, she looked gorgeous. She did. She looked
Mm.
really good. Yeah, she looks really good. That's how I will remember her. I think that kind of glam nana look.
I've got to be honest. I think the only one that I didn't think was dressed very well, or at Irene's leaving do, was Marilyn, because Marilyn was wearing business casual that she always wears, and I'm like,
she looks
let
like
her
she was
have
going to
something
work.
nice.
Somebody
Yeah.
remind me what's Marilyn? I can't remember what
I
Marilyn
can't
had
remember
on.
what it was. It was just a dress that she wears to work, wasn't it? Normally.
Yeah, it was like a blue dress. And
yeah.
Sophie, I'm like you. You've started this in my head now. What does she spend her money on?
I have
Oh,
no
blinking heck.
idea. I have no idea. I reckon it must be designer shoes and handbags. I think it must. She must have a wardrobe full of Gucci or something.
Well, did I have a fever dream one day? But years ago, didn't Marilyn explain that she made her own clothes? Did I make that up? You know, the caftan phase.
She
I'm
might
sure there was a
do.
storyline that.
She might thrift her clothes and then have expensive accessories though, like
Yeah, that's true.
£1,000 handbags and
Yeah.
Yeah.
what have
I
you.
mean, yeah.
Is this a sort of urban legend? Like whenever I come onto your podcast, you come onto mine and I talk about how Hayley was psychic.
Oh, actually,
Maybe.
talking of psychic, Irene actually had a psychic episode before Ken died, and she had a dream that he died, and then he did die. So she's had a little dabble in the psychic herself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Way
Yeah.
before she had her
Going
cards read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes around the bay, I think, the psychic abilities. I think you get the timeshare and you have it for like a little while.
Yeah.
Sorry, can we talk about that death card coming out on the?
Oh, awkward!
Okay, so let me just say, I
yeah.
know a bit about tarot. I can do tarot reading.
Oh, okay, you're
And
hired. You're
I
hired.
lost a weekend last week to tarot. Go on.
As long as it wasn't upside down, it is right. It is a card of change. Now, if she
Oh.
had the lightning struck flower, and
Mm.
then the hanged man, and then death, and they were all upside down, then yeah, she shouldn't leave.
Oh,
Interesting.
there we go then. I really wanted to see what Mr. Stewart had because they kind of said, "Oh, shuffle the cards," and they didn't show what he had, and I was
I
like,
know.
"Show me,
Bloody
Mr.
ad
Stewart!
break.
I want to know if
Yeah.
Martha's going to stay in the episode. Is she going to get killed off in Marimbula? I hope so."
Yeah.
There
Well,
we go.
he's got a lover card came up, so I
Oh,
mean, what
oh
goes
yeah.
on there?
Someone said that, didn't they? Oh, better not tell Martha. Mm.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Leah, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
I want to know what the rest of the cards had in store for him, though. You know, come on. I need to know. I need to prepare myself.
Yeah, we needed more of that segment, and we
Yeah.
needed a bit more because I think I messaged you, Si, about this. I felt like it was really nice that we had those two interactions with Sunny, but I would have preferred one interaction with Sunny and a longer interaction with Marilyn.
Mm.
Yeah, Marilyn's conversation with her felt like it was just about to get started and then it finished.
Yeah.
And we'd been longing for it throughout her whole storyline because we were all like, hello, Marilyn. You know, she's not really involved. You know, her friends rallying around her with Leah and Justin,
Mm.
Dana to a degree, Alf, and as you say, Sonny in the later bits.
Mm.
But Marilyn has all this history with Irene, and I felt a bit cheated. I must agree with you.
Mm.
Yeah.
The Sonny thing's interesting because he had a lot of screen time with her in the final episode, to the point where he's even in the very last scene.
Mm.
No regrets, no regrets.
Mm.
We were talking. I mean, I've spoken to you both individually about this. Like, it
Yeah.
seemed a lot. It seemed a bit strange. Barely knew her. But then when I took time out to think about it, and my emotions had come down a bit, and I'd stopped sniffling. I realised it's Sonny's fault she's going.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's Sonny and that conversation in his little white tank top and his jammies one night.
Not that you were looking.
Not to be forgotten. It's burned into my mind. It was him who said, "Don't let your illness define you." He's the reason she's going, and I think that's why he is so important to her at the end. He was the light relief that she wanted. Everyone was going all serious on her and crying on her, and he was joking about lending her money and she's forgotten. You know, throughout the whole thing, he has been what she needed.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that we talked about ending it so high and everything was happy and beautiful. And I think Sonny was a reason for that. And I think I was at peace with how much screen time she had with him after I thought about it.
I hadn't thought about it that deeply, but I did get to the same similar conclusion as you, that it was meant to be a happy ending. That last scene, if it had been anybody else driving her to the airport, they would have been in bits. But
Yeah.
because it was Sonny driving her to the airport, and he was, not that close to her, and also very supportive of her
Well,
going off and traveling, I think that made that scene less sad and more
Yeah.
uplifting and more, this is a good thing that she's leaving. It's telling us, wasn't it? This is a good thing. We're all smiling in this car, so don't be sad, don't cry. This is a good
she
thing.
even eyeballs the camera
I know.
and says, what does she say?
Life's too short for
Life's
regrets.
too short.
Yeah.
She even speaks to us. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
but everyone needs a happy friend who can hotwire a Mercedes. 'Cause he's got no money. Where did he get that from?
Remy, I'd imagine. He's still got that credit card kicking around. I think he's cloned it. Yeah.
Did you think of that, Tamsin? Did you think Sonny's reasoning for being there, or?
I felt that it was a case of the newest cast member, really, hanging out with the exiting oldest
Interesting.
cast member kind of situation.
Like a handing on the baton type.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought as well. It could be that. Yeah, it could be all of those things.
All out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
Amazing for Ryan, though, that's obviously playing Sonny, because when you think about it, when we have all these like compilation shows, when they show like, best exits from, Home and Away or soap or whatever, that clip will make those compilation shows.
Of course it will.
And he'll be in it, and he's a fairly unknown, I know he's been in a few things before Home and Away, but on the grand scheme of things, he's fairly unknown. But that's like an iconic scene for him to be in. And it's going to be one of those things that is going to be shown. When people do a montage of Home and Away, that clip's going to be in that montage.
You're right. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought.
And I think as well, as you said, he's an interesting character to have chosen, because he's a character that seems to have no stress, seems to exist in this bubble where he doesn't work and every day is a holiday, and he's just existing, but he's really happy.
Yeah.
And I think, as we've said, the thing about Irene is it's struggle, it's difficult, it's obstacles to overcome, and she's never had that. She's never had the sort of life that he lives.
No.
And for him to just say, listen, it's not too late. You can still do this. You can still have a great time. Your life's actually not over until it's really, really over. And yeah, I think it's that's interesting as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is. That sort of juxtaposition between the two sort of lives of those characters. One that with the cushy life and the one that struggled,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. And they say you're once an adult, twice a child. It's almost like the youth teaching the elderly how to live,
Yeah.
Like, there is quite a lot of opposites when you think about it now. Yeah. You've got us thinking.
I mean, I'm also going to say he's such an amazing new addition to the show as well.
Yeah, he's so popular with the fans as well. I mean, every comment on social media, I can't find a bad comment. Apart from the first week when he joined and everyone thought he was just here to rob money off Remy. I think since then, everyone's really sort of changed their mind and embraced him and said he's a breath of fresh air. I mean, I think even Irene said to Dana he's a breath of fresh air in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's his purpose, isn't it, really?
It will be interesting to see how he progresses.
Yes, yeah. Is he always going to be that happy-go-lucky good guy that's nothing seems to bother him?
Will the bay wear on him?
Will it wear him down?
When he's going to start chain smoking with a pixie cut?
After his third bust sleeve and 5. I mean, he's already been ambushed on a road, and I mean, he's already gone through the mill a bit.
He's done a little bit of the graft already, hasn't he? But he hasn't fallen down the stairs drunk with the tampons on his head. Yeah. He's got a bit of a way to go yet, I think.
Yeah, he's not quite made it to that status.
I'm sorry, I've gone. I can just see it pulled out and then oh my god, no. Iconic.
Iconic.
Well, it's interesting interesting you should say iconic, because
Ooh,
that
love a
leads me to
segue.
say, where do you think she sits in the ranking of icons?
What, on the show or?
Yeah. Oh no,
Oh.
just in general.
I was gonna say it could be a while, doll.
Beyonce, Irene. Yeah.
Oh no, come on. It's Kylie Minogue. It's Beyonce. It's Irene.
Oh
It's
dear.
God, I
this
need
or
time
Home
to
and
think.
Away.
Gosh, in terms of Home and Away, I mean, she's up there, isn't she? I mean, if she isn't the most iconic female of the show, then I'm struggling to find out who is more iconic. And in terms of other characters, genderless, Mr. Stewart for me is the
Yeah.
most iconic. I mean, I don't know. I think Si will probably disagree, but for me, he is my TV granddad. He means a hell of a lot to me. That man, Ray. So he's always going to be top of the tree for me, but Irene is probably behind him, I'll be honest.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you said before, or one of you said about it being Alf and Irene are the sort of
Yeah.
heads of, and I think that's fair to say. Was she my favourite though? And I know that's not the question you've asked me. I think she's up there, but if I was ranking my favourites, she'd be a couple of notches down. She'll still be top 5, right? But like,
So who would be above? Who would be above Rainey for you then?
in iconic or favourite?
Favourites, yeah.
Favourite for me is Marilyn. Marilyn for me is Home and Away. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's funny because as well, she's not been on screen anywhere near as much as Irene has over the years. But Irene to me, Marilyn, God, blimey. Marilyn to me is my all-time ultimate character.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. I'm not as attached to Alf as you are.
I know,
but I do understand that he is the show. So yeah, and I think John, for me, even though he is much later, like he's up there, like he's in the top with the others. And it's interesting because he is much later joining the show than the others that you would brand an icon. Even much later than Leah. Leah was later than the other big 3, let's say. But John was even later than that, and he's the last one that's managed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love Leah, even though since I joined the podcast, Si has pointed out to me how flawed she is, and now I see it. And I thought she was pretty cool before, and now he's like, yeah, but look at this and look at that, and I'm like, oh yeah, she isn't like the perfect. I always thought Leah was perfect, and I always wanted to be her. Like growing up, I was like, her hair is perfect, her figure's perfect, she's so sweet, like she can cook, and she's clever, and she runs a business, and she's like badass. And I always thought that Leah was like really, really cool. And then I met Si, and he was like, yeah, but look a little bit deeper, and she's a little bit flawed and a little bit. And I'm like, oh, I see it, but I still love her. I still love Leah. Yeah.
If you saw Leah on TV, you'd be like, that's that girl off Home and Away.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. In fact, I went to see The Matrix at the cinema, and she came on the screen, and I went, "It's Leah!" And everyone looked at me, and I was like, "You don't watch Home and Away, do you? Okay, never mind."
I was going to say she's in The Matrix.
She is. She's the White Rabbit in The Matrix. Yeah. She's awesome.
Iconic.
She's awesome.
Amazing.
I do love Leah. In fact, my fake name, if I ever meet anybody on a train that I don't, when they go, "Oh, what's your name?"
We're going to have to cut this.
And I'm like, oh, I don't want to give you my real name. So I always say I'm Leah. That's my fake name, and it's all from her.
So I have one of those as well.
Do you?
So,
are you going to...
Based on a fictional character as well. And I'm Ruby.
Ruby, that's a great name. Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Ruby Sunday.
Well, no,
Ruby Tuesday.
Yeah.
Ruby Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
that's a great name. There we go. Ruby and Leah. We need a day out on the train. There we go.
Well, I'll watch it if someone will film it.
Who are you going to be, Si?
I'll be conductor. Tickets.
You got to have a name. What are you going to be, Derek or something?
If you haven't got rail card, you have to bargain full price, love. I don't know why he's like from Bradford or something.
I love that yours doesn't. My Leah doesn't have an accent, but now I'm thinking I need an accent to go
Yeah.
with Leah now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
what sort of accent?
Yeah.
Eastern Bloc, go.
That would just be offensive. God, I'm not good at accents. That's why I don't do that. I'll leave all that to you on the pod because I'm not very good at the accents. I can do my own, and that's about it. So. Oh dear.
Sometimes I can't even do my own.
Oh dear.
Oh, exciting. We could start a whole new podcast just with aliases, the conductor.
Oh God, I'm the fat controller. I've just realised.
This is meant to be like your fantasy. This is where you... I love it. This is where your brain takes you.
I'm the best version of myself. I'm the fat controller.
Oh, it's so funny. I love it.
No, it's almost too sad to cut this out, to be fair. You know, this kind of has to stay.
Yeah. I haven't got time to cut this out.
He's not lying. He never cuts anything out. I'm like, you kept that in? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. We never got cancelled, so we're fine. Oh dear.
So I think it remains for me to ask. Now we've touched on this a little bit, but let's touch on it again, fat controller. So I talked about how I would
Instantly
have
regret
written.
this.
This is sticking.
I talked a little bit about how I would have written Irene out. Now
Yeah.
you guys pitch me your ideas. How would you have written her off the show?
Oh, this one's really hard because I have given it some thought this week because you do, don't you? When you watch a soap that you do a podcast on, you think about it, you overthink it, and you try and pick it apart and think, how would I have done this differently?
Yeah.
And actually, I found it really hard to come up with an alternative for her because the alternatives that I came up with, I don't want her to die. I didn't want a dramatic death ending. I like the fact that she's going to be out there living somewhere, and it's a happy thing, like she's living a dream and she's traveling. So I liked that. I think maybe for me, although it's obviously an issue-based sort of storyline or like a an awareness-based storyline of Alzheimer's and that important work that those charities do in Australia that they've been sort of talking about in all the interviews and stuff when she's been exiting. I think that obviously that was really, really good. But for me personally, I didn't need the terminal illness aspect of this storyline. I think it could have been something less serious that didn't pull me out of the storyline of the happy leaving story. Because I'm too busy thinking, how's she going to get to Paris? Is she going to even remember that she's meeting John in 6 weeks? All of that has brought me out. I'm too logical. I'm thinking too logically, and I know it's a soap, so that's ridiculous. But I think all of that kind of brought me out of the happiness of the storyline, really. So I don't know. I don't know what the alternative is. Is just write something where she's got another excuse to leave. Maybe she's going to go and live with Finlay, or she's going to go and travel the world with Finlay, or she's going to travel the world with somebody from when she went to high school, and maybe they've been widowed and they're off to travel the world, and she thinks, oh, brilliant, I'll go with them. And that's what I'm going to go and do. I don't know. I think it's difficult to think of an alternative, really, because I think the ending was very Irene. It was fun. It was uplifting. It was, her chasing her dreams, and that's what I want for her. I don't want her to end on a tragic note. I don't want her to die on screen. I don't want to see her funeral, any of that. So I don't know. It's difficult for me to think of a very contrasting, different story to end it on, I think. How about you, Si?
I feel the same. The end was so perfect that you almost don't want to unravel it. And do it again. But I do feel like nobody ever wants to sort of expel onto somebody an illness, you
Mm.
know, particularly one as cruel as this one, right?
Mm.
And I agree that the soaps are important for this kind of thing, and that's why they do them, right?
Mm.
And that's why you have to go through this. I think I said a couple of weeks back on Coastal News that I wish, because they were so close together, the alcoholism stuff last year sort of bled into this a bit more. And I think I would have, on the back of last year, I think I would have, if I had to write it again, I would have brought her out of rehab, maybe a little bit later than she did, a bit longer down the line, brought her out of rehab with this sort of new outlook of, I can't keep doing this. I've been given one last chance. I'm getting no younger. And it'd be more about her recovery from being in rehab, choosing to then go around the world and see things and experience things while she can. Because she was very close to death 12 months ago with that, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm torn because I do think like the Alzheimer's stuff is really important, and I'm glad the show did it. But also, straight off the back of what happened, and she just went to rehab and fell off the wagon. I think that could have been a perfect opportunity, and that episode that we had where she left could have looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, and it didn't need to be any different. I actually rewatched it today in prep for this, and I just was like, you couldn't do it any better. You know, I couldn't be any happier with a character's exit. It's not very often you say that, is it?
No.
I mean, especially not in Home and Away, where they've got that propensity to kill characters off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do normally prefer a death ending because, you know, I'm dramatic, so I'm a Leo. I like a death. So I normally do prefer something big, like a big explosion, or, you know, a kidnap and then a gunshot or something, you know, something like that. But I was trying to think this week, you know, if she had that kind of exit, what would I have done? And actually, all of it just made me sad. And I was like, no, it wouldn't have made me happy to see her go out in a bang like that. It would have been horrible.
And you'll remember her lay in the bed, or
yeah,
you know.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, I wonder if this is going to be the template for Alf. So we don't see him die. We see him go off in the sunset.
I can't even
Alf's
think
going to
about
live in Marimbula. I'm telling you now.
I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
I just think he's going to decide to spend more and more time there. I think they need to wean the audience, but people like Sophie off him.
He hasn't been to Marimbula for absolutely ages.
I know it's coming.
And I'm getting comfortable with him there, and I'm like, oh, he's back. Every time I see him on the screen, I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
He's definitely on overtime.
Yeah,
he's gone over his hours.
Because he's on so much at the moment with Cohen, and I'm loving it, but I'm like, he's still here. He's not in Marimbula. I'm excited, but yeah, it's not helping because I'm getting so attached still. So I can't even contemplate the idea.
Do you think it's really jarring when he's on an iPhone talking to Rue? Does anyone find that?
It's when he's texting Palmer.
Like the way he's holding it, I'm like, what are you doing?
It's the way he does that chicken peck texting, you know, with one finger. I love it.
Oh, hang on, that's how I text.
No, you got to do two thumbs.
I can't do two thumbs. My thumbs are too fat.
I thought you were going to say, I can't do two thumbs. I've got no limb or something. I'm an amputee.
I literally do it with a chicken. I have a chicken that I make do it for me. Now I'm there holding my phone, just going duh, 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 with my index finger.
Oh, see, I'd be grabbing your phone off you, going, "Give it here. What do you want to say?"
I would, to be fair.
Oh dear, that's so
my
funny.
secret shame.
Not so secret now.
Like a nana.
Have you got one of those cases that folds open like a book?
I do.
Oh my God!
There's no hope. There's no hope.
I'm only 36.
You've got your debit card in the back of it.
I feel seen. No, I'm very accident prone. I've had this phone for 6 years and it's still alive because of my little foldy case thing. Okay?
Oh dear, you make me laugh. That's so funny. Oh, I love it.
So I think we have given Irene another wonderful send-off with this special.
I'd
So,
agree.
yeah,
An
yeah.
end of an era.
End of an
Yeah.
era. Oh, yeah.
So
Definitely.
sad.
It is
Thanks,
sad.
Tamsin. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Hopefully
too.
all our listeners do as well.
Oh, well, thank you for agreeing to come on because obviously you guys are the experts.
Oh dear. Oh God.
You know.
That's scary. That's a scary thought. No, it's been
But
really, really good. Thank you for inviting us on.
It's always lovely to have both of you on because you're so great. You're like professionals, but also you have fun.
I definitely
I
agree
mean-
with the second part. I don't know about the first bit.
Literally, could you send that in an email? Because
Could you write us a review on Spotify?
I will, yeah. 'Cause they're professionals, but they also have fun.
it's like a dating profile, isn't it?
I mean, listen, if anybody wants to make me like 12 on Spotify, because at the moment I'm languishing on 11.
Oh,
11, like,
Can I do it again? I think I've.
no, you can't. You can only do it once.
oh.
So just find somebody out there who can.
All
make
our
me
listeners, listeners of Coastal News who are listening to this, pop over to Pop Goes the Tam Tam and give it a little rating. Go on.
Yeah. And if it's 2 stars, that's fine too.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. The full
If
5.
it's 2 stars, see me.
Yeah, after class. Yeah, detention.
Well, thank you for joining me for this. I always have fun with you guys. It's been an amazing way to end the week.
Yes,
Definitely.
thank you.
Thank you.
And look, more home and away content, please, over at Tam Tam Towers.
Definitely. Well, now we're going to have
Oh.
a massive hole in the schedule because Neighbours is just
Yeah.
awful.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's ending.
well, it sounds like we can fill it with Ken.
Yes, we can fill it with Ken. You know, how many
Yes.
odd Kim from Home and Away? Because that's who Chris Hemsworth is to me. Not Thor.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
Kim from Home and Away.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who
don't
you
set me
thought
off.
would never amount to anything.
Where is he now? Selling perfume?
Please take the time to like, subscribe, and review Coastal News wherever you source your podcasts and ensure you never miss an episode.